There we go.
Let's do
Now,
the introductions.
introductions. Now they know who we are already.
Good evening, point to point.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Point to Point. And tonight we're going to be talking about the topic, is Chinese medicine a religion?
Who are you?
Well, it doesn't matter who I am. I'm Robert, and I've been an acupuncturist for over 20 years. And you are?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tony. I'm an acupuncturist, former hypnosist.
Former?
Never certified again anymore.
Oh,
You have to be certified every year, but that is kind of redundant, though, saying I don't practice that much.
okay.
Uh, Interesting topic, though. Chinese medicines is it a religion? How many people out there think it's a religion?
Probably a few of them, because I can't tell you how many times I would tell someone I'm an acupuncturist and they go, "Oh, I believe that works." I guess you've seen that before too.
See, a lot of people don't understand why it works. So it's all about energy, chi. That's I had this conversation with my patients a couple times.
Mhm.
I'm like, our body's only in shell, right? Like the Tesla scientist, German scientist Tesla, right? He able to get a Tesla core he invented with the right frequency and electric currents. It sap, it disappeared. Well, for us, for our vision is like, okay, he just toasted the object into dust. But I think his theory was that we are is a shell, 90% or more that is made of pure energy. So the energy is chi to me. I don't think it's religion because religion is based on individual who believe what type of religion, and people believe in spirits. Spirits to me, like, yeah, well, spirit is kind of like energy to me. Energies cannot be created. I think the spirits equal energy, energy equals spirit. In acupuncture, we use needles to regulate your own energy.
There are some people who don't believe that chi should be called energy. They don't think that's exactly what it is, or it's a misunderstanding. Even in the book that I wrote a while ago,
Mhm.
I believe I said that chi isn't energy. There are different types of chi, and certain chis are used for functions within the body. Could you see energy as in some type of fuel to make things go? Sure. But I've noticed that chi is used as a descriptor for something that they can't.
Describe.
Yes, that's perfect.
It's
Yes.
just a long name.
Yeah,
Just to
it's just
satisfy our
it's a measure.
yeah. So just like spirits to me, like, well, we all have spirits. Like,
But here's something interesting, because I looked this up after you gave me, the idea about the topic. So I want to throw out a different question.
hmm.
It's kind of just as related. Is science a religion?
Oh,
Because you have to think about this for a second. Some people will say yes, because they make it so. They want science to be religion. Ditto with Chinese medicine. If you want to put in Taoism or Buddhist or Shintoism or anything else in relation to Oriental medicine, you can do that. But in a straight, direct definition, religion is based on faith, but science is based on evidence.
Russian.
Okay, ration. And
Hmm.
here's where Oriental medicine kind of gets a bad rap. Is a lot of people don't understand that acupuncture Oriental medicine is from scientific evidence-based medicine. Yeah, well, let me rephrase that: evidence-based uh,
Mhm.
process. We don't do it well, or when it was created, they didn't do it in a a contained, orderly fashion as we do it today. Because if you tried to do something like that today, you get laughed out of the office.
The reason I say yes, because like where you brought up like the Taoist, the
Mhm.
yin and yang, science is like opposite of religion. We have to have both in order to be a whole.
Yes.
So if you have no science, you might not have religion. And if you have no religion, then you might have science. But we have to have both in order to play some part of our mind or our life. Some people say religions. To me, religion is some beliefs. It don't have to be certain gods that you have to follow, like Mother Nature.
Mhm.
Some people believe in Mother Nature, but not God or Goddess. Like to me, that's a belief. You could believe anything, anyone. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Anyone out there that disagree that anyone who have a belief, but they also believe some science. There's always two of them together in your life. I've never seen someone who said, "Oh, I don't believe in God, but I also not believe in Mother Nature." So our Chinese medicines come a role is when we put Mother Nature, everything in nature, that we actually combine them with the scientific way. So when our treatment is, we also have some scientific things. The meridian, so it's very similar to nerves.
Mhm.
That's like science. But we also follow the path of nature. What's cold, what's hot, we try to balance out, harmonize. So to me, for our life to be harmonized, we have to have science and religion together. So that's why I said maybe they can be together in interacting together. That's how we go us. That's what I believe.
No, that's good. See, one of the things people also forget is science is based on faith too.
Yeah.
Science is
How
based on belief.
that's how they everything started though.
Yeah. Because there is a certain area within science that you need to have a belief that
Mhm.
something works. These are theories. There's really no way to prove it. We just know that they're there. It's not something, it's like I believe in gravity or I don't believe in gravity. We know it's there. We know how it works. We know how it happens. We can even measure it, but it's still a theory.
Mhm.
And there are many things that we believe, oh, we know everything about physics, but yet even physics in the last 20 years is different than it was 50 years ago. Even physics 10 years ago is different than it was 20 years ago.
Well, it's also because of the technology we have. Everything's
Yes.
changing. The data is more accurate, or maybe not accurate.
Well, they're doing more research. They're doing more work within, say, that field. And for another time, another good topic is what has been done in Oriental medicine over the last few years that, improves upon the profession.
The thing is, like with the COVID thing, I've been trying to research, like where's the data for the Chinese medicine? Where's Chinese from China? Like where are the new treatments protocol out there?
They suppressed it.
Till this day, I still cannot see it, and they still not here. Other than he signs retreats, but we want to know. Like I thought we had some more uh, new type of treatments.
Of course.
Like Sun Hanlen, back then is like cold symptoms. Back then that's how the ancient people treated. They used the healing elements to treat the cold problems.
Mhm.
For us, modern technology nowadays, like what happened? We actually kind of slow on any treatment. Well, a lot of people could say, "Oh, the ancient time people it takes so many years to develop these kind of treatments."
No.
Not really. We're just too stupid, really. Because we rely on technology. We rely on computers. We really don't rely on our intuitive,
Yeah.
especially men. We don't have our gut feeling that much compared to females. Females, they sometimes they will feel, oh, there's something's awkward. I'm not going to approach this person. But then you have modern society. Oh, it's okay. Uh, he's not that harmless. I just overreacting. Oh, I watch too many scary movies.
Going back to the topic at hand is even what you just said about doing more meditation or being more open about the more, I don't want to say animalistic, but like being more open to the ways of nature and stuff.
Mhm.
Some people will misrepresent that as being a religion or you trying to push your religion on someone.
That's where we come to belief. Mm.
And again, it's the thing that this isn't religious unless we make it that way, which I think is kind of, I see irony in this too. Because let's say, for example, from the article that you showed
Oh,
me when I read it, people felt, according to the author, they felt awkward because they walked into an acupuncture place and they saw a Buddha up on the shelf. Or in this case, let's say Gong Gong, which is very funny because if you walk into 99% of any of the American Chinese food places, they have Gong Gong up on the shelf already. Does that mean that everybody's going to go into the Chinese, the Chinese restaurant, see that, and then turn around and walk out?
they just don't understand. The god of war, Guang Gong, is actually protector for the business and war of the evil. But is it the practice, the business is a religion? Not really. You come in and they serve food for you. But it's just that the owner practice. That don't mean that all the stuff that he created is coming from Buddhism or Taoism. So when you eat it, oh, people who are Christians, they think, oh my goodness, I'm going to hell because it's not Jesus' touch.
So this was a loaded question. My thought here is we're comparing apple to oranges because when somebody walks into like an American Chinese food restaurant and they sit down and eat, all they care about is the atmosphere. They see anything that looks Asian,
Mhm.
Chinese, Thai, Japanese, Korean, whatever. And they look around, they go, oh, that looks nice. Oh, I wonder what that is. Oh, look, there's a cat going like this over there. I wonder what that does. They don't care about that stuff. But if you walk into a doctor's office, you walk into a medical professional's office and you see that,
Uh,
that can trigger a different belief.
that's the thing is, I never seen any
You won't.
Asians medical clinics have any.
You won't. You're lucky if you see something where they'll put up Merry Christmas. What this is a medical place that we use to treat everyone. Doesn't matter. According to the article that I read, the only reason why they don't like seeing that type of thing, like when they walk into theirs, they believe it's a false idol. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what that is. Have you
Was
heard the term before, false idol?
a false idol.
Yeah. And in other words, it's a religion or a belief in something that is, this is my religion. I worship this. Anything outside of this is false,
Yes.
is wrong. Much of what Chinese medicine and its practice is rooted in is Taoism. And I will also say that I am a Taoist, and it's more by choice because it helps me understand Oriental medicine, Chinese medicine better. In doing so, it makes me better at what I do.
The same thing. I'm more a Taoist. Back then, when I was young, I would say, "Oh yeah, my family's Buddhism."
Mhm.
Really, to be honest, we're not pure Buddhism. We're Taoism because my family have ancestor gods too. and we also practice Buddhism. Tao is this mixture. If you have ancestor gods, you're Taoist. You believe in Guanggong, you're Taoist and Buddhist. Guanggong is the only god that can serve as a protector for Buddhism. He's the only god, amazing. He's a historical figure too. He's real. In the three
Yes, correct.
dynasties,
The three kingdoms.
yeah, the kingdoms. Wow, he's like Chinese Hercules. His amazing strength. And because he's so noble and honest, that when he passed away, Chinese people worship him. And because of that time, he conquered a lot of territories. He considered God of war.
Mhm.
To me, he's not, he's so nice. He cannot be God of war. God of war is like destruction sometimes, but he's more like protector. That's why in Hong Kong, it's more of a very Cantonese and or Hong Kong people, they really honor him. He's very loyal to you. That's why they like to form a pact with him or a brotherhood with him. That's why they worship him for protecting them. Even the Chinese mafia, like they worship him too. It's just interesting how people believes, but at the same time, some people would think he's a destruction god of war. It's that's not good coming along with him because everything he touches like chaos. So it's just two different beliefs. Some people say he's a great guy. Some people say, oh yeah, God of War is just destruction. With him, there's always war. But I think God of War is coming from the wrestling terms.
Yes, correct. Well, Western European anyway, because you're
No.
thinking of more of the pantheon of Italian and Greek gods.
Yeah, yes.
Um, I kind of snicker because I think at some point later on when we get going, I should bring in my old teacher as a just as a guest speaker because he had this wild theory that Guangdong was actually Russian.
Could be.
Yep.
China, Russia. Actually, back then, there's no Asian of Russia. No, they are Asians. I mean,
Yeah. He,
um,
they they said if you really looked at how he was described in all of the books, the way
he's
his face was, the way, how strong his body and stuff like that,
maybe he's Hercules. From
could be
the weird thing is that his complexions.
was red.
I don't think any of us in Russia. That is the interesting part, though. Or maybe he's never read.
Oh, that I
People change. He liked to drinks. Back then, people
well,
drinks
yes.
alcohol like there's no tomorrow. It's just like water to them. They drink hard liquor, and they could drink a lot. Maybe he drinks so much wine.
Even my friend who's genetically built that way, he can drink me under the table. There's no doubt about it.
But the odd thing is, Chinese people are really smart, but they can drink a lot. Just like Korean too. They drink a lot of liquor too. I seen them. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, my an old friend of mine from college, he used to down a bottle of Jack Daniels in no time flat. It wouldn't affect him.
That's remind me of my in-law. I bought the Boone label. I'm like, oh my
Wow,
God, what the
even the
heck are you
blue
doing?
label.
They got a glass. It's not like shots.
Oh, okay.
Like a water glass, a long one. He poured to his friends. I was like, oh my goodness, that's expensive.
Of all
The way they drink
things,
it is like water. I'm like,
oh,
oh my God, like
it
then
gives me a
30
shiver.
minutes.
I can't think of wasting blue label like that.
Less than 30 minutes or maybe 15 minutes. I'm like,
Oh,
okay, my bottle is gone. I'm like, oh great. It's not about the size. I really don't know how. I'm not a drink. I'm not a drinker, so I don't like alcohol. I try it, but yeah, it's oh, so we off topic again.
Well, we are and we aren't.
We kind of going loop. So I really love to see our audience viewers type in some comments what they believe in. This way we can look and we can talk more. It's
Yes,
not just our thoughts. The major things of this show or podcast, we want to be entertaining. We want to get the education, of course, but also make it fun. Definitely is there's no right or wrong because it's all
correct.
our beliefs. Some people would really think some Christians are used. I have a friend of thinking acupuncture is a religion, Buddhism religion in general. So the hardcore Christian study Bible, that person told me that it's go against the religion. So no more treatments. The person been doing for quite a time. Never had problems. I just hope that her study is helping her.
I tend to worry when I hear things like that because that's usually sometimes at least more signs of being in part of a cult or a
Yeah.
group that shuns anything that isn't exactly the same as what they do. And even from what you said, they didn't want to come because they believe that being a Christian means you have to reject a Buddhist treatment.
To
It's
me, first time I heard it, I felt like, wow, I've been discriminated
yeah,
because I'm Chinese and I practice Chinese medicines, acupuncture or acupressure. But just because of that, okay, we had just so many years of relationship. Okay, goodbye. I felt like it's
it's
so sudden and
yeah,
you don't let me explain my point of view, but you already make that judgment already. I just afraid that there's people out there just brainwash people. But I just saying with that many years of relationships, all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. I just hope that person will be okay.
yeah.
Um, you could believe whatever you want. It's just that you have to see both sides of things first before you make the judgments. You cannot prove just like you will not say this person is guilty right away. In our system, you have to prove with evidence. Yeah, this person is guilty.
It's difficult for people within a cult to think rationally,
Yeah.
and they're, as you said, brainwashed to think that everything that they're doing and everything that the head of the society says that this is the way it is, this is the way you should be, and it's the best for you. It's always going to be it's for the best, and just blindly believing that is also not very good. People will believe what they want to believe. One of my other teachers, who is a Christian,
Mm.
and he devoted, very, very devoted. And he would even try to describe some things that happened like Qigong. He used to believe that Jesus was a great Qigong master. He said he was able to manipulate other people's chi so that they could heal themselves. And sure, that could be a rational description to something that he did. And he is also a follower of Chinese medicine. More to him, he believes that Qigong meditation is more towards his speciality in what he does. But he knows that there are other tools within Chinese medicine that works as well, such as the herbs, acupuncture, gua sha, cupping, so on and so forth. So there is room for understanding. There is room for finding a common thread within everything. It's hard to see clearly or think clearly if other people are telling you how to think. And I should actually point out, because I was reading about this not long ago, that there are programs to help you get out of being in a cult. There are government programs. There are ways that you can find help.
The thing is, the person had to realize they in that situation.
Yeah.
They will not say, "Oh, this is a cult organization."
Well, it's
Um,
usually by the time they get too deep, do
yeah.
they finally realize it, and then they feel that there's no way out. And from the things that I've read and seen, yes, there is. There are people who will help you reintegrate. There are people who will get you out of there safely.
So, to me, people who go geared toward those organizations is that their life is very desperate. There's so much problems, so many things going on. They need someone to solve their problems or advising them. Um, that's when you are at your weakest mental state. I hate to say this, just like what happened to after World War One, Germany, all the people were depressed and lose the war, and they their lifestyle wasn't that great. So then that's how Hitler and his organizations came to power.
Well, you bring up another good point, and that's also history, because
Mhm.
history and religion go together as well. Getting out of the whole, cult aspect for a second. Many of the religions, I should say the major religions that are out there, have been around for thousands of years, at
Hmm.
least 2000 at worst. Some people close, some people are more within 30-40 range if they're Jedis now.
I think it's more than that. It's just that when we start documenting, when people realize, oh, I have to document this, it's it's way beyond. It could be more than 10,000 years.
We wouldn't
Oh
know.
no.
Yeah, there's
Um,
no written documentation.
yeah. Back then it's probably we were about hunting the animals and sitting down writing books.
Yeah.
Once we settled down, civilization started, we had enough food, then we realized, oh shoot, I have to jot this down because we keep repeating the same history.
Yeah, go figure, right?
That's
We still do.
why we start maybe we got a little bit smart. Let's not repeat the same mistakes. When we hunt, we should hunt this way. So I think they start documents, the war, caves, but it's just that it takes a while for us to evolve because we make so many mistakes. It's like trial and errors. Beginning, we keep making so many mistakes, then we realize, oh, this would be right, so I write it down. Just like cooking. For me, I'm not a good cook. I do cook, but I don't have time. But I don't, okay, let me write this ingredient down or recipe. I just do as I go. I don't have the time. So it's the same thing back then, the ancient time. People doesn't have the time. They're not going to sit down. Okay, today, let me write this. Oh, I have no food now. Oh, shoot. My family's starving. They're dying. That's why there's no records. Religion or medicine, they were probably there a long time. We really don't know.
So earlier in our discussion, you had mentioned the Shaman.
Mm,
So now I'm going to mention the Cinque Alle.
mm,
When things did settle down and the people went out and spread out within the country to write down everything, as you said, that they did know. I always think of the Cinque Alle as this nice um, cooperation between doctors, because a
different doctors.
lot of what's inside that book is this patient did this, but something went wrong. So you treat him with this. this patient did something else, this patient took this medicine and also took it wrong, and you can treat it with this.
Mhm.
They went out and they spoke with all different doctors throughout that entire area and found treatments that once again could be spread and given out to anyone who needed it. Could that have happened another 1,000 years before that? Probably not, because they were all in wars.
Yeah. Mhm. Exactly. So
But once the wars stopped, once the engagement and the improvements start to happen, that's when things go for the betterment of everyone.
that's remind me of just a Chinese movies. They actually talk about the first that 2018 uh 20
Oh, really?
it shows that they were cavemen first. At first, I'm like, huh? I'm like, that sounds okay. It's interesting. So I watch it, fast forward a little bit. It's kind of boring to me because I don't have time to watch the whole movies. But then at the end, I read the thing. Oh, no wonder it's like some similar things are like, oh, the herbs or the civilizations, how it started. Yeah, they did not have documents back then until they settled down. That's how the movies were. They were moving around, tribes were invading other tribes.
Yeah.
And when they finally like, okay, yeah, you the king, we have peace, then we start to have new ideas flourish. That's when I had to start reading the old books. I had to brush up on a lot of Chinese theories. I don't remember most of them. It's just that in this country, in New York State, when we treat, most of the time we treat with acupuncture needles and mostly pain. So we kind of missed the major treatments for a lot of different illness. Just I do wish that our profession will be going toward the mainstream, which way we could treat a lot interesting cases, not just pain. To me, pain is pretty boring because there's a lot of problems that can contribute to pain.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, people only think, okay, it's only for pain. That's I've been working for many years. It's most of the time I thinking, oh God, it's only always pain, pain, pain. But when I tell the patient I could help you to lose your weight, to increase your metabolisms, just by using the acupuncture needles on the ear. The hardest part with weight loss is the patient themselves. I told them there's no guarantee, but you have to stick to the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, they lost some weight, but unfortunately they forget about the plan. Yeah, I last year, I mean this year, beginning of this year, I have 4 or 5 patients uh, come in for the weight loss. Only one person is very successful, but then she left. She hadn't show up for a while. A lot of them, the habits they cannot change. A lot of persons afraid, um, feel anxious. What happens if I don't lose the weight? The fear. We can overcome our fear. So I do study a little bit about the mental parts. With hypnosis study, I do found a lot of psychological things.
One of the patients that I had during my student clinic,
Mm,
it was a person with Crohn's disease, and
mm,
they had a lot of problems with digesting certain foods,
mhm,
and not so much as the way, what you were talking about, weight loss, but we gave him a plan. We gave him something that he could use to at least reduce some of the symptoms and stuff like that. This is a legitimate, disease that this person has. He's not trying to lose weight. All he really wanted to do was get his Crohn's disease under control
yeah,
so that he could enjoy his daughter's wedding. And with the herbs and the acupuncture, he had very good results. But the problem was is he tried to go too far too fast. He was able to, go out and eat things that he didn't have before and not have pain. But he thought, oh, I'm much better now. But then he'd do it again and do it again. And then all of a sudden the pain came back and was even worse than before.
Yeah. A lot of time, a lot of people don't realize Chinese medicine, it works with your body. You need to take time to heal
Yes.
or to adjust your body. We're not modern medicines where you pop the pills, you get instant results, but that leads to side effects. Problem with nowadays, people always in the rush. I need to see results. I don't have time. Time is money. I guess it's because the way our lives work. We really don't sit down and relax that much because we're always doing so many things at once. Why? Because the computer is fast. So we have to be faster. People who work in Wall Streets, my goodness, the stocks. Couple of seconds, I lost billions, not just millions. So they have them, I think the biometric clock or something that programmed that the bodies have to be quick, have to be fast. I cannot slow things down. But that's their belief, because that's how their everyday activities are. But when you finally slow down, finally retire, I see a lot of patients. Oh my goodness, they have so much problems, not just because pain. It's because here, the minds, like, look, it's okay. Take it easy.
So this is a good spot to end because then we can at least talk about that next week. Thank you so much for tuning in to Point Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. You should say something too. How about yours? I'll splice it in.